Hey, coloring fans, Bill Clanton here with another, I will say, nugget of joy, sharing my process as I'm kind of inventing this as I go, my whole marketing plan and marketing scheme for how I'm getting my books into the hands of the public. Now, as you may or may not know, I publish through CreateSpace. To do all my publishing. They've done a good job for me. No complaints right there. I receive no compensation from them for saying this. This is just me being honest about what I'm doing and how I'm achieving this, we'll say, modest coloring book success. You see my coloring books behind me here. They were all printed using CreateSpace. But the stories I want to share with you now is some of my journey, not just selling online. I am on Amazon, obviously, and I just found out that Colorful Coast, the generic edition, it's actually this one right here, is now on Barnes & Noble eStore. I mean, for me, that was exciting to find my books on Barnes & Noble eStore. But I'm not here to talk about online sales. I'm here to talk about brick and mortar, in-person sales, doing, we'll say, grassroots marketing. And you can sign up through CreateSpace Direct, and it's fantastic. It gives you the opportunity for these stores to buy your books directly through CreateSpace Direct, which eventually ends up going to Ingram. And that we'll talk about that in another video, because there's a whole other part of that process that I want to share with you for that. But what I'm doing is I said my books have a local appeal. And if you have a book that has a local appeal, or you just you feel that it works in a local store near you, well, what I've been doing is almost a grassroots door-to-door approach. I live in the Long Beach Island region of New Jersey. So for me to jump over to the island, it's a 15-minute drive, and it's not that big of a deal. You know, hey, with any tourist area, you're going to have traffic. No big deal. So the point of what I've been doing is I went around with a few sample copies of my Colorful Coast Long Beach Island edition. And I started going from shop to shop on LBI and wanted to see if stores would carry my book. Now, here's the interesting thing about it. I walked in there green. And I mean, I've never done anything like this. I've done sales in advertising and marketing and radio and internet, but never actually where I had to go door to door with a physical product and kind of sell myself. And so it was quite interesting. So I stop into the first shop, and they love the book, and they're flipping through it, and I get a positive answer there. I go into another shop, and I show it to the shop owner, and he sends me over to another shop across the way that he also was a partner in, and his partner looks at the book, flips it over, and says, "Wow, this is really nice. This is professionally done." And I printed it through CreateSpace. They were impressed with the quality of the book, but didn't even hesitate, didn't even ask me what my wholesale price was. Just said, "What's my minimum order? I'll take it." So I gave him the order. He said, "I'll take X number of books." He wrote me a check right then and there for my books. So then I said, "Hey, I'm on a roll here. Let me head to the other end of the island." Long Beach Island is an 18-mile stretch, and my goal was to have my books in one store in every town along the 18-mile stretch. So I was now in Beach Haven, Ship Bottom, and I was already in Surf City at the Good Life Boutique. So now I'm in Beach Haven, the Beach Barn in Ship Bottom, Good Life Boutique in Surf City. Let me head to the north end of the island, because a lot of the inspiration for the book came from Old Barney Get Light. So I ended up stopping into East Coast Consignments. Now, I'm not saying this necessarily to plug the places, but I walked in the consignment store, and the woman was so impressed with the book. Now, it was a consignment store, so we weren't talking wholesale at all here with this. And what she did was she said, "I think this book is worth more than you're saying for retail. I'll give you 50% on consignment," which, by the way, I am retailing the book for $14.99, so we'll say $15 for easy math. I wanted her to sell it for $15 and consign it for 50%. She said, "This book is worth more. I'm going to sell it for $20, and still give you the 50%. So here I am in a situation where wholesale I'm making about $3.50 a book to now making $10 a book, and $8 of that is profit after I have the books printed. So don't discredit a consignment shop. That's rule number one. Because yes, with consignment, you're going to have to lay out the cash ahead of time to actually get the physical books in the hopes that they will sell. But don't be afraid to wheel and deal and negotiate with a shop owner. And then to wrap this up, now I know you're probably thinking, well, where are you getting the books? Are you stocking? Yes, I am buying the books myself from CreateSpace at their discounted rate. Basically it's their production cost. I think it's $2.15 a book. So I'm buying the books in bulk, or when I get an order in, I then place an order with CreateSpace, and because I'm selling them wholesale for $5.50 a book, I'm buying them for $2.15 a book, and suggested retail $14.99. So I'm making in the wholesale profit is the same commission rate I would get from CreateSpace Direct or Ingram. That's about $3 per book that I'd be making on that. So the exciting thing is I stopped into the shop Beached in Beach Haven where the book is being sold, and I stopped in just to see how things were going. Shop owner tells me sold 7 copies in the first weekend it was on the shelf. Now, if you're not familiar with Long Beach Island, then this will make no sense to you without knowing this. Long Beach Island, outside of the summer season, and we'll say tourist season, is a ghost town. So here we are, not even into the season yet, and already sold 7 copies the first weekend it was on the shelves. So this was obviously a very exciting thing for me. But I just have to say, being there in person, face to face with these shop owners has a huge benefit. So you have that excitement of the instant gratification of knowing how well your book is doing. You get to see the customers face to face. And then the other interesting thing that I found that day was that as I was going from shop to shop, I was, talking a lot about my books and what I do. And the interesting thing was a couple that happened to overhear me talking to one shop owner ended up in the same coffee shop that I went to after that. It almost seemed like they were following me. But they end up showing up at the same coffee shop that I stopped into after I was done seeing all these shops, and they started asking me about my books. I sold a copy of my book right there in the coffee shop. I sold them my demo copy of the book because the passion and the excitement that they got hearing me talk about my books. And there's nobody better to talk about your books than you. So with that in mind, I want to say get out there, knock on some doors, get yourself a few extra copies of your book, and get out there and see where you can go with it. You never know, and like I said, there's nobody better to talk about your book than you. Well, I'm Bill Clanton. Remember, check out all of my new books if you get a chance. Also, you can find out more information about me and all of my books at BillClantonBooks.com. Hats off to you. Have a great day, night, whatever it is when you're watching this video, and happy coloring. If you have any questions, go to my website, which is
BillClantonBooks.com.
That's it.